I, a 24-year-old woman, work 12 hours straight on Saturday and Sunday back to back, and I'm 33 weeks pregnant. I've been doing it since I was like 20 weeks pregnant. The other days I work clothes every night, because I'm absolutely mortified of the financial aspect of having a kid, and I'm just trying to do everything I can. I only have 5 or 6 Saturdays left until baby is here, and who knows how many of those I can actually do my double and close, and make what I need in order to end up okay. Today everyone got cut but me for the morning shift, and I had 4 tables until the afternoon shift got there. Well, it turns out the host was just catching everyone from the afternoon shift up to me, so I didn't get any tables. When I tried to explain it to him that the 4 tables don't count and I erased it, when I walked away, he freaking added the 4 tally marks back. When I noticed he did this, I tried to explain to him why it doesn't work that way. That they got there after me, and it should reset when they get there. My 4 tables that I had when no one else was on the floor don't count for that night. He was like, do whatever you want. And I was just like, I'm not doing whatever I want, I'm doing it right. And he argues that he knows how to do it. Apparently not. I suggest we can go over to the manager and talk to them about it, because I want them to understand what I'm saying, and he refused and went to the bathroom, because he's full of it. I tried to ask the manager to explain it to him, but they didn't bother doing anything. They just told him to sit me next and didn't say any more. Like, how do they expect them to understand if they don't even explain it to them? I'm not even mad at the kid, I'm mad at the place I work for being such a crap show. I'm so frustrated because I'm always in so much pain at the end of the day from being on my feet. And because of how he was doing things, I literally missed out on probably 5 or 6 tables. Some shifts I work, I only get that many tables the whole shift. He really made me lose out on money, and I don't have long until I have my baby. I don't have any support from family or anyone else besides my boyfriend. I'm just so mad. I cried like 3 times today about it because nobody else cares, because no one else freaking cares if they miss out on tables as much as me. The people who work with me. They're just fine, and complacent, and see it as less work, so it's whatever. The managers don't care to explain to him why it was wrong, and meanwhile he's sitting there thinking I'm being a dick and trying to take tables away from others whenever he straight up screwed me over. He doesn't even believe me when I try to explain how it's supposed to be done. I feel cheated and robbed. Whether I don't make the amount of money that I want that day, I don't dwell on too much because I tell myself I did the best I could with what I could work with. But knowing that there were 5 or 6 tables that I got skipped for is driving me insane. There was potential there to make more than what I did, but I was robbed because of negligence. I'm so angry. I could just scream at the top of my lungs. Hellfreezer's note, I think the only thing you can really do here is just continue to bring it up to manager till they get so annoyed at you they finally sit this idiot down and explain it to him. And you should be a little bit mad at him as well, because it sounds like absolutely you explained it to him very reasonably, and it sounds like pure stubbornness on his part that he's not getting it. As in, I know something, how dare you tell me how to do my job, when you clearly know his job better than he does. 2. It's been a year and I still think about my old restaurant job. I have 13 years now as a waitress. I shot myself in the foot by saying I wouldn't mind hostessing for a while. 6 months later, I wish I hadn't even applied. A famous and failing pie chain restaurant. Pie. My manager would ask me very specifically to do things one way. The next week, he would be mad I was doing it that exact way. It's not busy, why aren't you taking drink orders? Next week, I take drink orders. We're slow, why aren't you focusing on closing duties? Why are you getting drinks? I don't mean once or twice, I mean this man had made me his target. I'm a woman, by the way. Always have been. This is relevant. I did a restroom check. It's a multiple stall restroom. He catches me on the way out and says, "Did you announce your presence before entering the woman's? Why not? Always announce yourself." Very next week. Restroom check. Anyone in here? I walk in, I start sweeping, he comes in. With no announcement, rips the broom out of my hands. "Why did you announce your presence? Are you not a woman? This is a woman's. Were you not born a woman?" No, they were born female. It's a bit different. Being a woman happens over time, love. I finally snapped and just stood up for myself. This is ridiculous. You tell me to do things one way, and then the very next week you're upset about it. Just last week you told me I had to announce myself at all times. I was met with, "I never said that. That would be silly. Obviously I meant for the men's room." I kept going, "No, you called me out for not announcing myself on the women's room." He just kept going, until 2 young girls walked in looking confused. He felt flustered. I got another job. I waited until the Friday evening before my Saturday morning shift to hand in my letter of immediate resignation. Yes. He started reading it. His face dropped. "Right now? Are you serious?" We did not have another hostess. Saturdays were busy. I said, "Yep," and sauntered away, never to be heard from again. I made sure that the letter addressed my issue professionally. I cannot perform to the best of my abilities under these conditions. When I came back in to pick up my last check, a server friend told me he'd been doing some of the hostessing himself, and clearly stressed. The owner wouldn't care. "He's a different kind of man. Women are inferior." The link to contact corporate redirects you to a 404 error. This post may be the last time I waste energy even thinking about it. 3. I genuinely just want an opinion or advice on what to do at this point before I do something I regret. I was fired from Longhorn Steakhouse for the dumbest reason. Let me explain. The managing partner, or GM, at the location I work at would constantly make Dave Chappelle cracker jokes, mock black dialect and lingo, and also make inappropriate comments that fall under the category of sexual harassment in the workplace. He even went as far as getting a server's number from Crowd and messaging her asking her to send pics while she was out with friends and coworkers. I was hired on as a bartender, but the MP, for some odd reason, had a bone to pick with me, probably because I was catching on to his antics and not giving him the time of day. And he was going out of his way to get other managers to try and quiet fire me. I picked up a Saturday evening server shift. My section was full, 5 tables, and was being asked to take a 6th one, and I had just got done dealing with a table that had an attitude from hell. As they were leaving, I was greeting my next table and took their order. As I'm in the server alley getting their soups and salads, I mutter to myself, "And crackers," in reference to dealing with the attitude from hell table. That's so inappropriate. I think you're meant to call them honkies. A few servers nearby heard it and giggled, and even the manager that was on Expo at the time laughed at the comment. I walk out and take the soup and salads to my table. And next thing I know, I'm getting pulled into the office by the MP, and I'm being asked to write a statement on what I said. Me being an honest person, I wrote down everything verbatim, chain of events that happened. The MP then sends me home and tells me I'm suspended until further notice. 4 days goes by, and I finally call the restaurant to follow up on my investigation, already knowing that I'm fired. Now here's where I get a little ticked off. Truly, I was content with getting fired because I absolutely hated working there because of the MP. But I'm angry now because once it was confirmed that I was fired, I immediately asked for the employee relations number to report everything that the MP had been doing. I filed for unemployment that same day, and I still haven't gotten a determination letter on whether I will be getting paid out or not, and I genuinely think it was because of the MP. Although I reported everything to employee relations, I know for a fact they have swept it under the rug, and he is still employed and still harassing other female staff members. My next filing date is this Saturday, and luckily I got hired elsewhere, but my start date isn't for another week and a half, and I'm obviously starting to get behind on bills. My phone service is currently shut off, and even if I were to receive some sort of call, I'd never know. It's been over 4 weeks, and usually by now someone has gotten some sort of communication in regards to their benefits, whereas I have not. Again, I'm banking on the fact that my MP is either not taking the call or ignoring it, or is just delaying my benefits as a whole. I've already taken another step in emailing Texas Workforce Commission, and my next step, if I don't receive any sort of payment on this next one, is to get in contact with employee relations again, and also just making an appearance to the unemployment office directly. I'm ticked that yet another man in a position of power can continue to get away with this, and also have a hand in me not being able to take care of my responsibilities. B. I'm just annoyed at the delay of benefits because my phone service is disconnected, which prevents me from staying up to date with job updates and such. C. I'm so angry that this man has this kind of power over me that I genuinely want to send his wife and daughters the screenshots I have, do it, that were sent to employee relations of him messaging 19 and 20-year-old girls and asking them to send pics. You should definitely do that. If I had the funds to sue, then that would already be in motion. But that's not the case here. I don't know. Am I just being a brat? Nope. And overthinking all of this? And should I just suck it up and wait to start working? Or can I seek out any other possibility of him meeting his match? Because at this very moment I'm tempted to go up there and cuss him clean out, but I also know that wouldn't solve anything or make anything better on my end. I just hate that this keeps happening in the service industry, where a man in charge will try to make a move, and I don't comply or submit to him, and then I get punished for not doing so. Like getting fired for something he says throughout the restaurant all the time. Thoughts and opinions are appreciated. I have pretty thick skin, and I've heard it all at this point, so lay it on me. Hellfreezer's note, if you ever find yourself in a situation like that again where you're asked to write a statement about something you've said during a shift, don't write the truth. How are they going to prove it? Say they misheard or you were talking about actual crackers for the soup because you couldn't find them or something. Never tell the truth to your boss unless it's someone worthy of your respect. 4. This can be a rant. Weird stories, funny stories, etc. I've been lucky enough that I haven't had awful tables. Of course, I've had bad tables, but none that have made me want to quit. I've had days where I've wanted to quit, but not over a table, and I got myself lucky. I digress, but here's some of the odd or funny things my tables have done. There was a family of 4, parents and their younger teen kids. When I walk up to the table and the dad starts off saying his son is gay and has AIDS, the kid is laughing, so it's meant to be a joke? I was just uncomfortable and awkwardly laughed and took their order. This keeps going the whole time, just weird jokes, but I smile and nod, whatever. Well, they ask for the check, and I go to hand it to the dad, 'cause he has his hand out, and as I'm handing it to him, he screams at me, and the whole table laughs. The son was recording his prank, and they proceeded to tip a certain amount. On a better note, I had a very quiet table who I was scared it would be a rough go. They weren't talking to each other and just seemed cranky. Despite thinking the table would be rough, at the end, things went well price-wise. But the true beautiful tip was them leaving a McDonald's toy from the Minecraft movie along with the tip, and a note that specified it was just for me. I still have it. I actually like this one, and it was a group of teen boys who referred to me as bro or squad the whole time. Had a table sit for 10 minutes with an order in before realizing we weren't a Red Lobster. We were a sushi place. I'd say a group of 4, around let's say 21-ish, spent 10 minutes desperately trying to stack their plates to be nice, but they were, very bad at it. It was still very appreciated. Overall, one of my weirdest things are when customers leave their numbers and tip bad. Happens to me and my coworkers a lot, and we laugh every time. Not funny or odd, but my favorite story of all time. There was an older couple who came in celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary, and coincidentally was my boyfriend and I's first year anniversary just as a couple, which was already cute, but they were so sweet, so I assumed since they were older, let's put on an older love song on the playlist of the restaurant. I picked Be My Baby, since it's a classic, and as it played I walked by their table and heard the wife say, "It's our song." When I tell you I had to go back to the kitchen because I teared up because it was so cute, I was back there for a second. The last one is the person who insisted they just want sushi, and I asked what kind, and they looked at me like I was dumb and said, "I want the sushi." I try and ask if they want a classic roll, special roll, or a nigiri. I point them out on the menu, and they get mad at me repeating they want sushi, just plain sushi. The other person at the table looks uncomfortable by this point, so they say they're still looking, so just get them their drinks. When I come back, the person is still insisting they only want sushi and don't understand why I'm being dense. I ask them to explain what's in it. They say, "It's avocado, cucumber, and some meat thing. And I ask, California roll? And they still look at me like I'm stupid and say, yeah, that's what I've been asking for, just regular sushi. They muttered something, I don't know what they said. That's about it. I'm just interested in hearing some other all-time stories, positive or negative. 5. Let me just start by saying I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to quit my job on a dime. I have never had the opportunity to just not have a job, but I have recently experienced a majorly traumatic event, and my mom wants to help me out financially so I don't have to add to my stress by walking on eggshells at work. Anyhow, the night of said traumatic event, a coworker asked if I would work for them the next day. I said yes, and then the bad thing happened. First of all, I chose work over my own mental health. This dude is so angry all the time, I didn't want to hear about it, so I go in and literally could not stop hysterically crying. It was embarrassing and awkward. If I had just called in, I would have been able to cry somewhere comfortable with people who care for me. So my manager texted the group chat and asked if anyone could come in because I had to leave due to an emergency. The prick whose shift I took said, I can be there in 15, WTF. Then sent another message saying, I asked her to take my shift so I could go to dinner at 8:30. Can we make that happen? I'm not sure if he knew I was in the chat, but I was angry. I replied and told him that I was at the restaurant, but my emergency was unprecedented and unpredictable. Like, did he think I made it up? He didn't even have to reply at all, no one was going to force him to come in. But he made the conscious decision to get nasty and angry. Like, you did that to yourself by replying in the first place. I already told our manager that I felt really bad for leaving because I took the dude's shift. Manager is nice, so he didn't care about that, just wanted to get me out of there. The lack of empathy from the other dude was astounding, though. Then one day, our chef and I were talking to my guests at the bar, and he recommended a dessert, and I said, oh, that's what I would say too, I love that one. The man said, you're just the bartender. I am the chef. So don't effing say that to me. I was so confused. My guests were appalled and told him I was great with them, so they don't understand what he's getting at. He said that whatever I recommend doesn't matter because he's the chef. Bitch, I literally agreed with you because I love that dessert. So I was given the past few days off, and I decided not to go back. I'm not going to just show up and quit without anyone knowing, but I will not give notice. I've been bullied by a chef before, and I put up with it, and I was miserable. I refuse to put myself through that again, especially after the problems I'm having in my home life. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Spinning Plates, episode 280, and big thanks to everyone who allowed me to use their stories. Please do hit the like button before you go, and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. If you would like to support the channel, my Patreon is available, $1 or more a month, pay what you feel really, gets you early access to all the videos at once on Monday, and there's also a link in the description to my merchandise store on Teespring. Okay. Before we go, let's have Hellfreezer's question and answer of the day. And today's question is, do you celebrate your birthday? I actually don't. I mean, I used to do the birthday stream, but that was about it. I don't even know if I'm going to do one this year. I guess we'll see when we get to September, which isn't that far away when I think about it. But yeah, I really don't bother with my birthday anymore. I guess that's just something that happens as you get older. Or maybe I'm just a grumpy grump. Let me know what you think in a comment below. Is it something you still enjoy doing, or is it just a day to you? And before we go, let's take a look at the answer of the day from a previous video. And this one was about having to stop yourself from buying kitchen gadgets. I think I mentioned a spiralizer. I still want one, but I must be strong, Now, today's answer comes from Grey Warden Invasion. A smoothie maker. I love to drink them, so at one point I thought it might be cheaper, and maybe also more environmentally friendly if I made them myself instead of always buying bottles. But after a short time, it probably would have gotten way too annoying to always clean it and do all the preparation in advance, and I would have gone back to bottles from the store. Oh, I'm about to change your life, Grey Warden. Right. Firstly, I wouldn't say get something advertised as a smoothie maker. Get yourself a good quality blender, like Vitamix. I've got a Vitamix. or a Blendtec. They're pretty expensive, but the Vitamix, for example, has got a really good warranty on it, like a 10-year warranty. So if mine breaks like a month out from the warranty, they'll either fix it or replace it. That's how good the warranty is. That's why I went with them. But you can buy like pre-made bags of smoothie mix. And just buy whatever kind of fruit juice and such you like. The only downside, and I do feel it's why I don't make smoothies more often, is the cleaning of it. Which, to be clear, just means putting water in it, then giving it another quick blast and wiping around anything that's not been taken off. But I still get a little lazy with that. But I do like, but a good blender I do recommend. I do like mine. It's really good for making sauces and a bunch of other things as well. I use that whenever I'm making my vegan mac and cheese, which is a generous name for it because there's no actual cheese in it. And with that, I'm going to head off for now, so until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.